Hello and welcome back to the Weekend Gardener, back down at the plot again today, and I'll see if I can get as many of these raised beds sorted as I can. I managed to drop one in yesterday, but what I want to do now is take all the soil out of it and see if I can sieve it through to get rid of some of the larger stones. But it's going to take a little bit of jiggling around. I've got some 30 litre buckets that arrived this week that I'm going to grow potatoes in, so what I'm going to do is use those to hold the soil in for now, and then I can sieve it back in. But it's going to be a bit of a job. I need to find some black plastic as well because I want to line the inside of the bed so they don't rot. So I'm not going to stand around too long because it's too cold, so I'm going to get some work done and I'll show you what I'm up to. That's the first bed in, and I've started to dig out some of the soil, put it into the buckets. I've got some more buckets. I'm just going to pull them to one side and see if I can completely empty that bed. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the green manure from here, I'm going to dig it over and turn it into the bed, and then put some of the soil on top, and then that will leave me an empty bed that side, so then I can do that one, work my way over, and then hopefully see if I can get all 4 beds in this section done today, or at least over this weekend. It's a bit of a job, it takes a little bit of a while getting everything level, but once it's done, it's done. Stage 1 done. I've gone down probably 4 or 5 inches below the bottom of the board, so what I'm going to do now is going to put the black plastic to protect the inside of the beds, and then I'm going to level out the soil that's in there and then put in the green manure on top of that. And the amount of soil I've had to dig out, I don't think I'm going to be sieving it unless I can find a pretty large sieve, because that's going to take absolutely days to do. So I might just pick out the biggest stones that I can find and not worry too much about the rest. Right, so I'll go and find the black plastic and the staple gun and get that sorted. That's the first bed, all wrapped in DPC. It's a sort of a thick plastic. They use it in construction for damp proofing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dig up this green manure from here, turn it over, drop it into there, cover it over with a thin layer of soil, then cover it over with some weed membrane, and that should be okay for spring. And that'll give me a little bit of room to do the rest of the beds. And that's going to be the process probably for about the next 3 or 4 hours, so I shall carry on that. I'm not going to bore you sharing anymore. It's going to be exactly the same thing over and over again, so I shall get that done, and then hopefully, I'm thinking that I may just get 1 bed done today, but at least I'll get it done properly. So I'll show you when I've finished, but I'm just going to crack on now. Morning, welcome back. It's raining today, but I didn't want to waste the morning, so I've come down and I've got all the wood cut for all the raised beds, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to strip down one of the netted covers that I've got that went over the larger beds and see if I can use the wood and the EnviroMesh to make a cover for one of the new beds. So I'm going to have a little bit of a measure up, strip down the old bed, and I'll also show you what I got up to yesterday because I forgot to film at the end of the day. So we'll have a quick look and then I'll get inside where it's a little bit warmer and get some work done. It looks a little bit like a bomb site, but I did manage to get two raised beds in yesterday. And as I said I was going to do with that one, I dug in the green manure to the bottom, then just covered it over with soil, and that's the net cover that I'm going to take apart. There's plenty of wood there and the covers should still be good, so I'm going to see if I can use that to make a cover, and it will fit both of these beds because they're exactly the same size. So I'm going to strip the EnviroMesh off there, break down the pieces of wood, get it into the polytunnel and start work. That's a bed cover stripped down. I've definitely got enough wood there to build 2 new covers with the blue tube. So I've measured the width of the bed and then the piece of wood that I need to go between the two full lengths, and that's come at 99 centimetres. And I've got the blue pipe. I've got all three sections to the same size. So what I'm going to do now is push that up against there, push that there, that's going to be my hoop. And then I need a piece of wood to go from behind this to under this to hold it up. So I'm measuring there 67 centimetres. So I'll put a piece of wood 67 centimetres, join it to this piece, and I can screw the pipe and the wood together. I'll screw through the top of the pipe, and that'll be my first hoop, and I can use that as a template to make the rest of the hoops. We'll just get that piece of wood cut and get it all put together. I've also put the EnviroMesh to dry over the compost base, and because I'm sick of fighting with bits of wood, I've made myself a little stand with bits that I found knocking around in the polyton, so it's made the job a whole lot easier. So yeah, I'm going to get that piece cut now, 67 centimetres, get it all screwed together, and then we'll have a look at the first hoop and we can use that to make the rest. I've got the two end pieces done. I've got the length cut to run down the side, but I've run out of time, so we have to pop home in a minute. So I'll just show you what I've done is I've put an extra piece of wood there just to join this piece up to give it a little bit more strength, because there's a lot of pressure on these blue tubes. I think these are slightly thicker than the other ones I've got, and getting them to bend into position was a bit of a job. So I've just put an extra little support in there. I've cut the other one to go up the centre. You can see the difference here. This is a blue pipe, the normal stuff. This is a big difference in the thickness and the diameter. So when I do the rest of them using the blue stuff, the thinner stuff, it should be a little bit easier to go. But yeah, the weather's been a bit rubbish, but we've at least got something accomplished today. So that's it for this week down at the plot. I've got a fair bit done, not as much as I wanted to do, but you never really do. But I'm still happy with what I've done. The hoops are looking quite good. I've got my templates now to use to make the rest of them. I can adjust the heights up and down to suit whichever crops I'm going to grow. But around about 700 mil, which is just over 2 feet, should be enough for most things. Maybe if I want to grow some Brussels sprouts, I'll need to go a little bit higher, but I can always put those into the cage area. So I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all again next week.